This episode is brought to you by the outstanding shows of the You Run Podcast Network. From TV to true crime and everything in between, the network is your home of entertainment. So don't delay. Join in with the fun at yourunpodcast.com today.
Hi, Marc.
Hello.
I like that you were adjusting your camera. Like, I thought you were going to show me something. The camera was going down. I was like, is this one of those sort of?
No, I was just looking off screen, and then it just said my name, and then it was my neck. I just looked like that floating head guy from Art Attack. So I better give more. But I better give more body to the image.
More body to the image.
Yeah.
Why is pineapple a shark's favourite fruit?
I do not know. Why is a pineapple a shark's favourite fruit?
Because it makes semen taste better.
That's a good one. I like that.
I thought so. I'm back on form. And today we have something really special.
You want to die tonight?
The dad jokes he tells sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. The passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's overblown roundups. You run podcasts or a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled.
Wow, that Baby Shark remix was a jam, wasn't it?
That's good, isn't it? I like it. Hello.
We still have that in our house. So, no, you can't start the show yet. I'm getting obsessed with this Baby Shark remix. I need you to send me that.
There's a full remix. I've just used a tiny snippet. The entire song is a dubstep remix. Do you want the whole thing?
I do, yes, because we still do the Baby Shark thing in our house, even though it's very, very tiring. I could get down with that version, though.
I found loads of versions of different songs like that. So things like Bluey, but like a drum and bass version of Bluey.
Oh, I don't know. Bluey's a classic. You can't really change Bluey, can you?
Well,
now that's going to be in everybody's head all day now, and you know it.
It is going to be in mine all episode. Hello, and welcome to the You Run Podcast Horror Movie Review. My name is Scott.
My name is Marc.
And we are a horror movie review podcast, as the title would lead you to believe. If you come here expecting true crime, you're in the wrong place. We are a show that is fully interactive. You pick the shows, you pick the episodes, you pick the movies we cover. You get involved in various different ways and have your say on the show. None of which is happening this week. I didn't put out a single thing this week for interactive because this is an annual event today. It's a very annual event. It's a special event I'm going to talk about a little bit more in depth in a minute. But first of all, we have a competition running. Now, all you need to do to enter is go and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, screenshot it, and DM it to me at You Run Podcast on any social media network. That enters you to the draw. If you've already done that, all you need to do is comment on Spotify on an episode, and that counts as an entry into the draw. And if you do it this week, that's one entry. And if you do it next week, that's another entry. And our first episode back in the new year, we're going to do one of those cool spinny wheel things live. And whoever wins gets to pick 3 pieces of merchandise from our store, and you can have them completely free on us just for reviewing us or for leaving us a comment. Yeah. It's really easy. Really, really easy. You can get in touch with the show. Email us, yourunpodcast@gmail.com, or send us a voicemail. And you could do that on X and Instagram by pushing down the microphone button, holding it, speaking, and letting it go. And we'll get that and make it on the show. Today, we're going to give you a synopsis of the movie, tell you what we liked, what we didn't like. It's going to be spoiler heavy in no particular order. We do have a game today, which is going to be loads of fun. We have some facts, and then we do round up and scores and call it a day.
So there's no voicemails this week?
We have got a message. I was just getting to that.
Oh, sorry. I thought because you usually transition from that segue there, I thought, there's no voicemails. I've got off lightly for the Battle Royale bashing.
Do you know you didn't get a single message about Battle Royale? Not one.
Because you're
There's
all sat there cowering in the corner, holding onto your physical media, saying, "Oh my God, he's right! I can't believe it."
I don't know if that's the truth, but like if that makes you feel better, that I'll
It
let you
does.
have
It
that.
does.
We have got a voicemail. It's a bit of a long one, and it's from someone who very rarely calls the show. So here we go.
So, hopefully you can hear me okay because I'm outside at work. Because this is what I do at work. So, we were talking about getting messages and people saying things. And I started thinking about like my journey with You Run Podcast and Scott in particular, obviously, because I met Marc later in the game. And it's crazy because, you know, we've been doing content for multiple years at this point, almost 3 years, if you can even believe that shit. It's weird because, like, when we met, I didn't have any followers. Like, I had barely any subscribers. I had never done content, like, on another channel. I'd never been invited or asked to do content with another person. And I want to say at that time, I had just, barely begun reaching out to people to do content with me. And when I think about that, it's actually, it's quite funny because our relationship dynamic is so rough at times, like with bickering and going back and forth with each other and triggering each other and the like, that we have this really cute, humble beginning where I had like nothing in the means of content creating. I had just started like that same year. And then here you were, like you, at that point, you did have a following and you were willing to reach out and you wanted to do content with me. And it was just a no-brainer. It felt like that you wanted to work with me. And it was crazy to think that like I came on to do that movie review. And then ever since, like, and look what it's blossomed into: multiple series, multiple repeat visits to each other's stuff. And I didn't technically start out as a listener. I started out as a follower, which if anyone's listening to this and you don't understand the difference, people who follow and reshare stuff are not as helpful as people who listen and watch the videos. So don't be like me. I'm not like that anymore. Now I listen and stuff. But initially I didn't have a lot of time for podcasts, so I didn't listen as much until after I got to know you better and I started to try to support you more that way. But yeah, this is long. Sorry. Instagram, it's both a good and a bad thing that Instagram no longer cuts you off at a minute. You can ask Tasha about that. She gets about 10 minutes a day from me. But yeah, it's just crazy to think about like going back to that because I started out as a follower and then, we quickly became, friends, I feel. And it's crazy to think about that because what are the odds that like those connections happen the way that they do? And I didn't start out as a listener, but I do know as someone who creates content, who became a friend, who was online with you, that you've impacted me hugely because you've always been insanely supportive of everything that I do, everything that I touch. You want me involved in things. You ask my opinion because for some reason you value it, even though we never agree. I still haven't figured that out yet. And I just wanted you to know that even from the other side of it, as a content creator, that what you do and who you are is meaningful on that side of things too. Because I do consider you a dear friend. I talk a lot, we've talked about a lot of personal things. We know a lot about each other. And I'm really excited to see what else we do together and what else we can be a part of and get an opportunity to work with one another. And I just thought that might be a good perspective for you to have too, is not just the listener viewer side of things, but also on the people you work with that maybe don't always or wasn't always listening to your content, and just how meaningful that was. Anyway, you said you were worried about this note, so I guess I can't be all nice and kind and stuff, so I'll just end with, fuck you, Scott. I'm just kidding. I love you. Bye.
That was very sweet.
Yeah, so that's Angel, Voices from the Mausoleum, member of the You Run Podcast Network. But as she said many, many moons ago, I brought her on the show as a guest, and yeah, kind of everything went from there. Angel's wonderful. If you're not following her, go and follow her at Voices from the Mausoleum everywhere, and go and show her some support. She's one of the kindest, most generous people, and the reason I like her to get her input is the same reason I go to Marc and the same reason I go to Heather. Because if I go to her with something that's shit, she doesn't go, "Oh, that's really good." She goes, "That is trash. Why did you do that?" Which you do
Honesty,
as
man.
well, and so does Heather. And honesty is what you need when you create stuff. Because if it's crap, you need someone to tell you this is crap. You need to make it better.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not as brutal as Angel is. I'll sort of skirt around it. I'm like, yeah, that's good, man, but maybe you should try doing this, or maybe this would work better. I don't come out and be like, yeah, you suck, man.
Yeah, Angel doesn't. I love her for that. So I'll send her something. She's like, "What is that? Why did you make that? You're not going to release that, are you?" I'm like, "No, not now." Remember how I said that we never get emails ever?
Yes. And I almost said it earlier when you read out the email header. I was like, why are you doing this still? Nobody emails us.
Well, hell froze over, it would appear, and we received an email.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Is it Christmas already?
I think it must be, and it's a really nice email as well. And I'm going to read it out because it really touched me. And I didn't send this to you, and I didn't do it purposely because I want to get your genuine reaction to what I'm about to read. So, hi Scott and Mark, just want to drop an email about your podcast and how important it is to me. A bit of background for you: my life has changed a lot over the last few years. As I had a job I did for over 15 years and had the pleasure of working with some amazing people I could chat to about football, music, motor racing, and my favourite subject, horror films. Now, I lost my job 2 years ago, and I find myself in a job today that nobody talks to each other than work talk, and nobody is interested in horror. I also live alone, so now I spend a lot of time not really talking to anyone other than a phone call now and again and messages from friends and family. The reason I wanted to get in contact with you guys is because when I watched Late Night with the Devil, when it came out, I really wanted to hear and talk about the film. And I was going on a long car journey. So I hunted out podcasts for the movie. Most of them lasted 5 minutes before I turned them off. And then I found your episode on the film. You kept me company on the drive, and I instantly loved the show. Two friends just having a laugh and taking the piss out of each other and giving honest opinions about a subject we all love to hear about. I started back from the first show and have listened to every episode. Finished the Autopsy of Jane Doe episode and now I've started listening to the True Crime podcast. It's so good too. And we'll now be checking out other members of the You Run Podcast Network. So just a big thank you for putting out quality content together, keeping me company while driving, housework, cooking, and making me aware of films that I might not have heard about before. Keep doing what you're doing, chaps. I look forward to brilliant horror chat and age baldness related banter in the future. Ad.
Oh, that's cool, man. Do you know what's really strange about that email is when we do this, like, I know people listen because we have like a close network within like Instagram and stuff, like Beck and Jay and Jim and Gareth, and people reach out to us each week who are very comfortable around us, who we talk to most days. So I know we have a little bit of an audience, but when you get like people who we don't interact with and who we don't know, strangers in a sense, saying, "Oh, we listen and it's great," it's mind blowing to me that people are actually listening to us talk shit. Because when we're here and when we're doing it in this moment, it's just me and you, and I'm happy with that, and I'm comfortable with that, and it's just a chat between the two of us. And to think that people are actually out there digesting this and it's meaningful to them is strange to me, because I just feel like I'm with a mate in a pub talking shit about a film that we watched the other day, you know? So, like, the fact that it's so important to so many people is a really jarring thing to comprehend, especially considering for me personally, all it is just having a chinwag with you and having a back and forth about a film that we've just watched, you know? So it's strange hearing emails like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's very nice and very rewarding to know that people are enjoying this. It's just, I never ever take a step back other than outside of this chair and think about it on a different level.
No, and the crazy thing is you and me spoke before we come on the air about some of the success that the show is having at the moment and has had recently. Like we're up in on Samsung podcasts, we're up in 4th, and we're up there next to Empire Magazine podcast
which
is
is
ahead of us.
mental.
And that is wild as fuck. This massive publication, Empire Magazine, and we are nipping at their heels in a podcast chart, blows my mind. And I'm grateful to everyone who listens, and I probably don't say it enough, but it does mean a lot to me. And when people reach out and they send us lovely messages like Angel did and like Ad did in that email, it really means a lot to me that what I'm doing is not shouting into the void. Like, I come here and I have a chat with Mark, but we're not just shouting out and no one's hearing it. The fact that people are hearing it and it's having enough of an impact that they then tell us that it's having an impact means the absolute world to me. And it's great to have an impact on people's lives by discussing top tier horror movies. Like, what more could you want?
Yeah, and I can imagine for you personally as well, it must have more of an impact to get that reward from people, that gratification. Because I come in here, I dedicate what, 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe tops a week, plus the actual viewing of the film at like 90 minutes. So this takes me like 4 hours of my life, which isn't a lot when you spread that out over 7 days. But for you, man, you like finish, you go and edit, you then work on the content for next week, and all I have to do is watch a film and come and talk shit about it. But the hours and the effort you put in is insane. Like, if it wasn't for you, this wouldn't be a thing. Like, this wouldn't be a podcast. I mean, obviously it would be for you, you'd still be doing it, but I mean, this show wouldn't be a thing, certainly, because I just wouldn't have the time or the energy or the patience to just do it.
Insomnia is my friend. That's all I'm going to say on that. Anyway, talking of top tier horror movies, we're going to kick off with No One Watches This Shit November, and we're kicking off with a bang. So for this entire month, we are very much channeling podcast network member, the Dewey Pod Monster, who cover movies like this every single week. We're going to do it for a month. We're picking all the B movies, all the weird and wonderful movies. Well, we're not. You're picking them all. Today is a very special movie, something that holds a special place in our heart, and it's something we've been covering for 4 years. We started way back in the beginning with the very original Sharknado, and we're now all the way up to Sharknado 5 Global Swarming. A new Sharknado threat arises across the globe, and Finn, April, and the returning Nova must work as a team with a whole list of Z-list cameos. Like, where they found these people, I don't know.
I don't know.
And bring an end to the global threat of killer storms. Copyright law is out the window as they parody everything in an attempt to save Gil from the country hopping portal containing Sharknado. Maybe the Sisterhood of Sharknado could help. Do you know what? I don't know why I'm trying to give a synopsis. The fucking writers of this movie did not have a synopsis for this film. Like, they genuinely didn't.
Oh man, this is bizarre as fuck.
Let's get into it. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the Indiana Jones moment, or do you want to start later or earlier than that in this? I don't even know. To
be honest with you, I can't even give you an actual descriptive run through of this movie if I wanted to, because it's so all over the place. I just do not even know where to start. And I think that's my issue with this. I'm not going to give you my overall thoughts in general because I don't want to bummer the episode out too early on, but there is no cohesive through line in this movie.
No,
like, at least with the other ones, we have an A to B. We know where we're going and we know what we've got to do. We've got a mission. This is fucking mental, man.
Yeah, there's some crap at the beginning which is all completely unimportant. I want to start at the Indiana Jones moment. So Nova's found under Stonehenge. Nova has found a cave, and she's found scrawlings on the wall that there have been Sharknadoes for thousands of years, and the Druids knew how to stop them. So
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge,
where we're at.
Yeah. So she demands that Finn Shepard comes to help her. His abseiling down was amazing.
Yeah, very cool. I mean, and then, don't get me wrong, Finn's cool. I'm still Team Finn, even throughout this movie. I'm still on board with him. especially at the end with his Grim Reaper shit that he had going on. We'll get to that later.
See, when he dived down and he does the whole like Mission Impossible thing, and then he stops himself like an inch from the floor, and then he hits us with the line, "Tom Cruise, eat your heart out." I was like, yes, yes, let's do that.
And they do heavily throughout this. They are so close to the wire.
Yeah, they go into the cave system because they're looking for an artifact to control the Sharknadoes. Do you want to talk us through Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Sharknado style?
I mean, to be honest with you, I actually really, really like this bit. It was the thing that got the biggest laugh out of me the most was when they found the Indiana Jones hat, and I thought, no, Finn, don't put it on because that's just cliche and cheesy. And he actually turned and was like, nah, that's not my style. And Nova puts it on, but he was like, but I will take this. And he takes a whip. I was like, yes, that's going to come in later. I'm going to be really cool when he uses it. It wasn't, but it was a cool setup at the beginning.
Yeah, it was a really cool setup. And then where they go through like the booby traps, and it's so Temple of Doom, and they get through to the artifact sat on a table, and Finn's got like a bag of weighted stones, and he does the swap. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
how are you not being sued like right now?
I mean, it's like on the verge of scary movie level stuff at this point. And I'm going to be honest with you, in my personal opinion, I think they jumped the shark with this one a little bit. Like before in previous movies, they were still in their lane and they were still their own thing. And they got egregious with the cameos and stuff like that. But they were still their own movie. They still had their own purpose and their own plot point. In here, it's bad, man, in terms of like the literal rip-offs of scenes from movies that we know and love. It's scary movie level stuff. And it became quite annoying quite quickly for me.
Yeah, see, I enjoyed this one, but we'll talk about how I felt about it in roundups. The actual Sharknadoes are as shit as ever. They've made no attempt. Yeah, like no attempt to improve the CGI at all. This is still done on some guy's laptop in a basement for like $11.
Yeah, I don't want to be the guy who's just bashing this movie. We love the Sharknado franchise. It's our thing. But I think this might be the end, my friend. You know, like it's rough. It's rough. Like the thing that I always used to highlight how much I love the cheesy CGI kills throughout the movie was like the shark was always CGI. That was always shit. And I love the fact that they kept it like that from the first right through to the fourth. But they always used practical effects to show the aftermath of the scene or the actual execution of the kill itself, even though it was a CGI shark doing it. But on here, we don't actually have any kills. There's no kills in this movie. All we have is Sharknado spinning, and one of them falls out of the Sharknado and hits somebody into a wall, and that's it. They're dead. We don't like... In the other movies, we had really cool action set pieces where people died, and it was like a big moment in the movie. It's just so bloated by cameos and stuff. It's like, oh, well, we can't do that, so we'll just have to knock them against a wall and have them die. And it's just that all the way through. Even Finn doesn't even have a full-on cool one-on-one with a shark. That's a lie. He does surf a shark down Buckingham Palace's stairs while punching it on the nose, which was kind of cool.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And the budget for this is obviously a lot bigger because they filmed a lot of stuff on location in a lot of countries.
You say that though, but did you catch that all the London stuff? It clearly wasn't Buckingham Palace. It was just a big, expensive house in America. And then they tried to showcase like a British like street, like an English sidewalk, but it had American traffic light systems and zebra crossings and that. I was like, this is clearly just some upper Manhattan street and you're trying to pass it off as British.
Yeah, see, I liked the different locations. It had a very like Fast and Furious 10 or 11 or whatever it is, where they go to Brazil and they go to Italy. Like I liked that, and I liked all the different countries, and I liked there was lots of things in here they done as nods to other movies that were done subtly, like the Eiffel Tower, not the Eiffel Tower, Leaning Tower of Pisa being pushed up straight by the Sharknado is a nod to Superman. when Superman goes bad and he straightens the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So
Is that
there's
as
things in
nasty
here
as Superman gets?
that's as
He's
nasty
like,
as he gets.
take this to your historic monument.
I'll make it straight. But yeah, there's a lot in here not to like. The Sisters of Sharknado. Like, what the fuck are they about?
Yeah, no, I don't get that. I didn't get it at all. And I know you quite like the whole location jump thing, but for me, it just I didn't like it. It was too grand. The whole thing was too big on a. This is a simplistic movie. It's a Sharknado. They've got to fight it and they've got to contain it. It was just zipping and zooming from place to place, and it just lost my interest so quickly. Do you know what I feel sorry for the most in this movie? Is Gil, the actor who played Gil. He's like, right, we're doing Sharknado 5. You've got to come back and do this movie. And he just spent 90 minutes zipping around on a fucking circle string while they filmed him and then CGI'd a tornado around him. I was like, the poor little bastard has got the dizziest tights he's ever had in his life, and he's about 13 years old.
Well, let's talk about when they go to. So when they're in London and the Sharknado hits, Gil and April get taken to Q's lab from Bond. That's exactly where they go. Let's talk about the helmet that they put on, the Sharknado protecting helmet, which is
I'm telling you now,
helmet.
I could go to Halfords right now and buy the same fucking helmet with a shark fin. I've seen kids at skate parks wearing the exact same thing.
So when they gave it to him, he's like, it protects you from Sharknadoes. If you get sucked in, it's going to protect you. I was expecting some over the top, stupidly grand CGI thing where it kind of like came around him and like put him in a little cocoon,
like Spy Kids level CGI, cool costume thing.
Yeah, but it didn't. It was just a skate helmet with a fin on it. And when he gets sucked into the tornado, the sharks leave him alone. The lightning doesn't affect him. And somehow he can now travel through the magical portal in the Sharknado to other countries at will.
But does he though? Because he never comes out of the tornado. He's literally been in this for a week, just spinning around, just fucking feeling like full on absolute seasickness in this thing. Poor little guy, man. And the thing is, as well, like, it made me laugh so much, the relationship between Finn and April. There's so many moments in this where they just stop and have like smooches and be like, you're the love of my life. And I'm like, how are you so distracted by the fact that your 14-year-old child is spinning around in a tornado and you're declaring your love for one another? I'm like, get a grip, guys.
One thing they've done in this that I really appreciated. So April was rebuilt in 3 or 4, I can't remember, whichever one that Gary Busey was in. She was rebuilt as a robot and she could fly and shit like Iron Man. I love the fact that they retconned that in this. They obviously realized April flying was a bad idea. So
she gets fly in this.
She does, and then she gets destroyed, and it's just like the top half of her body and her legs are all in bits, and he carries her on his back like C-3PO from Star Wars. And then when she's put back together by Olivia Newton-John, yes, you heard me correctly, Olivia Newton-John.
Oh man, the grease lines that they used in this 5-minute segment, I died inside so much. Do you know what I mean? It was bad, man. It was the shittest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was like, Olivia Newton-John, you are an absolute hero and a goddess. Why have you done this? Why have you degraded yourself so much? Like, you are better than the Sharknado franchise.
Do you know, I kind of really appreciate when a bigger star touches this. Like, I really liked it when Jerry Springer was in 3, because he's a globally recognizable star, as is Olivia Newton-John. So when she does a cameo in this, that instantly makes me go, do you know what? Good for you. Fair play. Why not? But then when you've got characters like, because the woman who's with her is her daughter in real life as well. So that is mum and daughter.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. Olivia Newton-John, I know you sadly passed away, but you should really control your funding for your children, because she has just plasticized her face. She looks like she can't even crack a smile because you have injected that much shit into her. Does she actually have a career herself, or is she just literally living off mummy?
I have have no idea. This is the first time I've seen her in anything, and I only knew it was her because when I went and looked at facts, that was one of the facts that came up.
I mean, that's a fun thing for them to do for a weekend. It's like, oh, we're going to go be part of Sharknado 5 Mother-Daughter Day Out. That's cool. But,
yeah.
The Grease Lightning sort of like quotes and stuff that they were using,
I
I can't
got
off the top of my
chills.
head remember them. Yeah.
I got chills, and then the daughter goes, "They're multiplying." I was like, no.
Yeah. It was stuff like that, man. I was like that, hiding under my shirt. Oh no, don't, no, please make it stop.
The thing is, though, it's things like that that is what draws me to this franchise. It's stupid stuff like that that makes me laugh. Like, there's a bit in here with Jordan, or Katie Price, however you want to know her, where she's with the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister gets his leg bitten off by a shark. He then goes on a marathon run, losing blood, but her death, the shark comes in. And as the shark comes in, she puts her hands in the air and goes, "Oh no, it's a shark," and it crushes her to the floor. And I guarantee, because I've seen enough of Katie Price to know, I guarantee when she walked off that set, she's like, "I'm going to be huge in Hollywood." And that makes me laugh. That makes me smile.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
There was a few like that. There was like some guys from like Towie or Made in Chelsea or The Only Way is Essex. I don't know. I know the faces. I don't know the personality, and clearly they don't have any of them anyway, but there's a lot of them in here. Like Louis Spence. And do you know what the thing is? I think that what pissed me off a little bit more than anything else is how British or English-centric the cultural cameos were in this. Like, I like when it's like all like Hugh Hefner, I think, has he made an appearance yet? Surely he's been one of these by now.
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
You've got like the cheesy American ones that you can laugh at because it's funny because you're like, haha, I'm British and I laugh at your mocking little B-listers. But when it's our own B-listers, I'm like, oh, you're actually embarrassing me now. Like, why are people watching this? Because this is really, really shaming all of us. Jedward are back again. Knobheads. What the fuck are they doing here for the 17th time? Why are they not being killed by a shark yet? And they're trying to act real cool in Amsterdam with like a bong and shit. I'm like, you guys are losers. Like, really, really poor human beings, and I don't like either of you. The passion for Jedward is strong. I do apologize.
It really is. Like that the hatred for Jedward is real.
But my favorite was the Bret Michaels, is it? I think the how have my mind gone blank? Is it Poison or something like that? The league gets wiped up by the bus and he's like rocking out. I'm like, oh, this is fucking brilliant because he's American, and I find it hilarious that we're mocking Americans. But when it's British people, I don't know why I get ultimately offended by the fact that these shameful people that we put on a pedestal are being glorified throughout this movie. Maybe that's how Americans feel when they're watching Sharknado's 3 and 4 and stuff.
Maybe you've hit the nail on the head. That's why the American audience look at these and go, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And this is one of the higher ranked ones because the big American audience watched this and went, "Look at those twats in England."
Exactly that. Exactly that. Oh, how the turntable, man! Fucking hell, what an idiot.
I did not like the cameo of the Pope.
It was that guy who was on like the shampoo adverts and shit. I don't actually know if he does shampoo adverts or if it's just a meme.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it's that guy, and the whole gifting him the holy chainsaw. I was like, oh, this is.
And it wasn't even cool. It wasn't even in like the shape of a cross or anything like that.
No, like we've had laser. We had a lightsaber chainsaw in Sharknado 3. Awesome. We had a ginormous, attached to a forklift truck chainsaw in Sharknado 4. And in this, we get, honestly, it looks like something you'd prune a hedge with, but it's black and gold with a little cross engraved on the handle. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it looked like something you find in an S&M dungeon. It was weird and very unsatisfying.
And I think,
I think that's my overall feelings towards this movie. It was just unsatisfying. One thing I do want to ask you, though, the guy who plays the Prime Minister at the beginning, I couldn't put the nail. Who is that dude?
No
The
idea.
really small, annoying little dude. Like, I think he was really big in like 80s movies and played like Igor or something like that.
Yeah, see, I recognised him. I didn't care for his character, so I didn't bother to go and look who he was.
Heather will know the answer to this. I guarantee you now, Heather will know who this guy is. Heather, if you are listening, I do not expect you to watch this movie because it's dog shit. But Google who plays the Prime Minister in Sharknado 5 because I'm sure he's American. He's not British
Yeah,
by any stretch.
no,
He's an American dude. He's a little annoying fella. A bit like the guy who does like the news broadcast, you know, when they go to Africa and he's talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
like zebras and stuff. He's annoying as that guy.
yeah.
I'd love to
Uh,
know.
Yeah, and Heather, just so you heard from Angel earlier, but I'll confirm it. You can do more than a minute long message on Instagram now, so you don't need to send multiple. You can do one long one.
This is true. So next time you feel like giving us a cheer, give us a hey, give us a yay. Feel free to drop it by. This week has been awesome. How have we even not talked about it yet?
Do you know, I deliberately do. I shared it on my story today because we just released the true crime episode. So go to at Wednesday Wine and Horror on Instagram, and if you go and have a look at her post, there is a picture that Heather shared of when she was a cheerleader, and
Yes.
that it led to a long, very funny conversation in the group chat where Heather reached a point where she's like, "Fuck, I hate the Perry. You leave me alone."
I found it. I found it on her personal Facebook page, immediately screen grabbed it and shared it with the group. And it led to one of the best days of my life. I'm not going to lie to you. I thoroughly enjoyed the back and forth we had. I wish I could
Yeah.
share the entire conversation with you all because I was like a giddy schoolgirl. Heather the Vampire Slayer is real, and it was truly magical to witness.
Maybe that's why she likes Twilight so much.
Maybe so. She's putting out a hit list.
Yeah. Back to the wonders of Sharknado 5. The scientists, and like we've spoken about this on every time we've done it. The science of Sharknadoes doesn't necessarily work, but you can wrap your head around the way they explain it. The science in this movie was so bad that they added mythical runes and effectively magic to make it make sense.
Which
And
was stupid.
Yeah, I and the prop, like the shark thing that they had, was awful.
It looked like the kind of thing you used to get free in a box of cereal back in the 90s.
Yeah, it was really that was really bad. I do like the dynamic between Nova and April. I love the hatred there. Like, it made me laugh because Nova's the one who's like accidentally let go of Finn and he slipped up into the Sharknado. And Tara Reid's act is like, "You let my son go into the Sharknado." And Nova's like, "You've always hated me." And she's like, "No, you let my son go into a Sharknado. Let my shark go to a Sunnado."
It was bad. It was really bad. It's like an EastEnders moment. It was like boom, 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 boom. Yeah, the chemistry between the two of them was annoying. I know you're a fanboy, but I didn't like it. I didn't particularly like April, but I haven't liked her in any of the previous movies. I think Tara Reid sucks asshole. She's terrible. And they did that thing, do you know, where she dies and like Olivia Newton-John puts her back together. And they're like, "Oh, make me less robotic." I have to feel like that line was written because of her acting capabilities. It was like, yeah, please try and make me better actress in these movies.
What did you think of the conclusion of this movie? Because I was like, fuck off.
The conclusion was great. I loved it, and that surprised to me because I'd spent so much of the runtime of this movie being like, this is going to end anytime soon. And then we got the king himself, Mr. Ivan Drago, pops up as Finn Shepard's son from the future or back from the future. I always get confused which way around it works. Has he come back from the future, or is he from the future going back to the past? He's from the future going back to the past.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
so he's not trying to get to the future. It's back to the past in this case.
So the Sharknadoes have devastated the entire world, and for some unbeknown reason, Finn is the only survivor on the entire planet.
which is brilliant. And I love how he gets like that hooded cloak and he's walking around like the Grim Reaper with April's head in a bag. And, like, that was brilliant. But I also blew my mind that in the space of 3 hours, he managed to walk from Africa to the North Pole, which was also brilliant. They kept like walking past monuments across the globe. And I'm like, you haven't shaved. This has literally been 20 minutes. How have you managed to progress this far on your journey without transport? I like the ending. I do, because it also tees up the potential of what the sequel could be. Like, and is this the final one? Is this it? Are we done the next time?
The next time is the last time. It's actually called Sharknado, the last one.
Right, which is great because there's a lot of things I didn't like in here. I didn't like that they killed Nova. That pissed me off because she's such a vital part to it. They killed pretty much everybody. They killed his son, the older one.
And they killed everyone apart from Finn and
April.
Gil.
Yeah, but well, everyone's dead. Everyone's dead. But like, they set up the potential now with the whole time travel element to bring back the Hoff and people from like the first few movies that got killed off, and also like cameos of cool people that got killed off that can now be reintroduced again into the sequel of the final one, and they can have like a big final hoo-ha of, yes, this is why this was great. But whoever wrote this movie should not allow to be involved in wrapping things up.
No, and I agree. I think we're kind of done on Sharknado, which I thought it would be longer than that, but there's really not much to this movie. Shall we take a break?
Sure thing. Let's do it.
Okay.
When you finish this episode, why not head over to yourunpodcast.com and check out some other shows. For some additional horror content, Podcast in the Woods is a great destination. Hosted by Gabby and Boomer, this horror movie review show boasts regular guests and honest opinions. Highly entertaining and at times hilariously funny, Podcast in the Woods is top-tier horror content. Or why not check in for some super nostalgic moments with Pop Culture Reflections podcast. This show is hosted by Justin and covers everything that has influenced pop culture in every decade. Films, music, TV shows, and professional wrestling all make regular appearances along with fabulous guests. This show is a must-listen. These and many other incredible shows all available at yourunpodcast.com. Your home of awesome entertainment.
Do you like Gladys has had a bit of an upgrade? She's got a little bit more personality to her. I'm working a lot with Gladys to make her better.
Nah, fuck Gladys, bitch. But I do like Podcasts from the Woods, his artwork. I really like that. It's very Goosebump-esque. Every time it comes up when we do like the shout out stuff segment, I always see it and I'm like, I really like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, really, really cool. Both of those are really cool shows as well. yourunpodcast.com. Go and check those shows out. All the other shows as well. There's so many good shows on there. And a bit of a spoiler, in January, the You Run Podcast Network is about to expand massively. We're about to welcome many more new shows to the You Run Podcast Network. So there's lots coming network-wise.
More workload for yourself. Well done.
Yes, more work for me. Let's do some facts. So I don't know if you spotted this, and I didn't. And then when I found the fact, I had to go back and watch it. So when Finn and Nova are looking through the caves in Stonehenge, there are props from Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. The skull mask and the silver shamrock novelty badge logo are sat on one of the rocks.
Ah, wow, that's cool. I'm not going back to watch it to find out, but I'll take your word for it.
Really, really cool. So the Australian news anchors in this. So when it attacked, we forgot about the Sydney Harbour, where the Sydney Harbour House turns.
That was cool. That was very, very cool. And Tony Hawk has to skate up it.
How did we miss that?
How did we miss that? Tony Hawk is fucking awesome in this movie. And he didn't die either, which is cool. No. Well, I mean, he did technically by the end, but he didn't die on screen by a shark.
Yeah, we missed out a major plot there. Anyway, the Australian news anchors hit you with a line that says, "You better run, you better take cover," which is from the chorus of Down Under by Men at Work.
Oh, Men at Work. Massive trajectory here. Men at Work. The singer from Men at Work, Colin Hay, he is incredible. if anybody has ever watched Scrubs, this is what got me into Colin Hay. There's a song in, I think it's season 2, where like JD's out in the lobby and Colin Hay's playing the guitar. I can't get to sleep. I think about the implications. And then he dies,
Yeah.
and then the whole episode is in the morgue and he carries on singing that song. That's Colin Hay. He's the lead singer of Men at Work. I don't know where I'm going with this, but everybody needs to go and listen to Colin Hay's solo stuff because he's an incredible singer-songwriter.
And Men at Work are also great. This is the only movie which made me sad, and I spotted it, and I was like, oh. And I waited all the way to the end of the credits. It does not say Finn when it's finished.
Is this the only movie that does that?
It's the only one that doesn't do it. Every other movie,
but
at
it
the
does
end,
because, to be fair, this one says to be continued. So
yeah,
this is technically like that whole double bill trilogy thing. So I'll kind of let it off. This is a 2-parter. They've set it up as a double bill to round off the end.
Olivia Newton-John character warns April and Finn not to get physical, which was obviously one.
That was the line that was a line that threw me. I think that was the one.
So the Secretary General is played by Nichelle Nichols, who is Uhura in Star Trek. And she says that Finn has gone where no man has gone before, mirroring the line from Star Trek, to go where man has never gone before.
I don't get it, man. I'm not a Trekkie.
No, I'm not a Trekkie either. I'm a Star Wars fan. The opening title...
I have a cool life.
You're a Myers fan. Don't be throwing shade at Star Wars. The opening title card does not appear until you're 21 minutes into the film.
Yeah, but I think it was longer on the first one. The last one, was it 4 where we had the whole pirate ship thing at the beginning?
Yeah.
That was a good 30, 40 minutes before we got the title card in that one.
Yeah, it was. A Sharknado sister. So these are the team of people who work under Nova to track and stop Sharknadoes. She at one point says, engage the Paxton Initiative, which is a homage to Bill Paxton from when he was in the movie Twister.
Oh, that's cool. How did I not pick up on that? It's cool.
Yeah. And the last, no, I've got 2 more. No, this is the last one. I lie. Nova sits down at a computer. And when she sits down at a computer, she's warned, don't touch anything that's labeled Cyberdyne, which preempts comes at the end, where we're then going to go into time travel. So if they've mentioned Cyberdyne, which is from Terminator.
That's Terminator reference, is it? Yeah.
If I don't get a Terminator in the last Sharknado, I'm going to be fuming.
Well, we haven't seen dinosaurs yet, and I know we get dinosaurs in one of these movies, so I'm assuming that's when we get the mecha suits that they have. I've seen a still image of Finn fighting a T-Rex and shit.
Yeah, I think that's the next one. And that's it for facts. So it's been a long time since we've played a game, and we've mentioned it recently, and listeners have mentioned it as well. So I decided now would be a really good time to unveil something that I've been working on for literally a week.
If this is just Broken Spirit with a different title, I'm going to be really pissed off. You know
that. I get that.
It's been a while, let's play a game. Something new to make Marc insane. Hear him rage, hear him scream. For the rest of us, it is a dream. Broken Spirit 2.0. Making tears of people flow. No lifelines, no one helps. These questions will make you yelp. Broken Spirit 2.0. Making tears of people flow. No lifelines, no one helps. These questions will make you yelp. Broken Spirit 2.0. Broken Spirit.
Yeah,
that just goes to show how fucking well I know you, because I had no idea you actually had that planned or lined up, and I could just smell something was off tonight.
It is the return, well, not the return, the upgraded version of Broken Spirit that has gone through some changes. No, it's gone through some changes. So it is the same quiz that you all know and love and that Mark broke. He broke Broken Spirit and it went away. So Broken Spirit went and had a thought and worked out how to come back bigger and better and badder than before. So it's the same as before. There are 10 questions. There's no help on these questions. The changes. So it is now a themed quiz. Every time we do this, it is themed around one particular thing. It is not general knowledge of all of horror. It's a very niche bit of knowledge about one particular part of the horror genre. Also, if you take too long, you will start hearing a sound, which is this.
Oh, no way! The instant anxiety I've just felt from hearing that nostalgic song.
Desperately trying to get a bubble. And if you get one wrong, you will hear another really nostalgic sound that you will know probably better than anyone else in the world. You died. And if you get one correct, you will get this.
Oh, that's a bit underwhelming. Do you think you could have done better with the ding?
I probably could have done, but I didn't. So this episode of Broken Spirit 2.0 is themed around the Sharknado franchise, movies 1 through 5.
So just so we're clear, you telling me this is a new Broken Spirit, but all you've done is just added some sound bites. It's still the same fucking quiz as before. You've just added the Resident Evil, the Sonic theme, and some lazy ass, cheap ass bell that you found on Google.
And it's themed to one particular thing now. So it's 2.0. They start really easy and they get incredibly hard. So, Mark, question number 1. What is the name of the main protagonist in the Sharknado franchise?
It is Thin Shepherd.
Correct. Question number 2. What is Finn Shepherd's weapon of choice?
It is a chainsaw. Are these all Sharknado related?
They are. It's all Sharknado.
Oh, fuck.
So, question number 3. In Sharknado 5, what movie franchise is spoofed when they retrieve the artifact?
Indiana Jones. Do I need to give the film?
That's
okay.
correct.
I think it's
Indiana
Temple of
Jones.
Doom, but I wouldn't be 100% on that.
It is Temple of Doom, but yeah, just the franchise is all you needed. Question number 4. What is the name of the popular American wrestler who appears in Sharknado 3 and the Terrifier franchise?
Oh, because I'm a dad now, so I'm like having to watch movies in segments. I'm halfway through Terrifier 3, and he's in that. But I'm not a big wrestler. Can I have 2 guesses? Because I think it's Bret Michaels or Bret Hart, and I don't know which one it is of the 2.
Okay,
I might be wrong completely on both.
It's neither of those. I'll give you a clue. His last name is Jericho.
Oh, it's Chris Jericho.
I kind of gifted
Thank
you
you.
that.
You kind of gifted me that. I'm not a wrestler, man. I knew it was one of the 3 that you
question
gave me the help
number. Question number 5. In Sharknado 4, what actor plays April's dad? We mentioned it earlier in this episode as well.
April's dad. Is it? Gary Busey.
That is correct. You do well. You're halfway through. This is where they start to get a little bit harder. Question number 6. What year was the original Sharknado movie released?
Oh man, I have no idea. I'm terrible with dates. So we've got 5. Can you tell me when 5 came out? That's not cheating, technically.
No, that's not cheating. I don't know, but I will quickly Google for you. Sharknado 5 come out in 2017. Sharknado 4 come out. No, let's go. I'm not going to give you that one. Sharknado 3 came out in 2015. Sharknado 2 come out in 2014.
Ooh, all right, that's for a spanner in the works because I would be like, so they're coming out every year. But those two came out in synchronization. Oh no, because you missed one. So technically they're coming out yearly. So 2000, which one was number 3? 2012. Ah, fuck off, man. 2013, wasn't it?
It was 2013. So unfortunately, you didn't break Broken Spirit 2.0 on your first attempt, but it will come back. It will make periodic appearances, and guests that come on the show will also get to face Broken Spirit 2.0.
That's brilliant because if somebody comes on to watch something like Halloween and they're like, "Oh, I've never seen a Halloween movie before," I'm like, "Well, you better watch all 13 because you're playing Broken Spirit."
No. It may not necessarily be themed to what we're doing that week.
Ah,
I could be a real arsehole. Like we could do a Halloween movie. You could do Broken Spirit, and I could theme it on Nightmare on Elm Street.
Why are you such an asshole? Why be that guy?
I don't know. I just think I get some enjoyment out of it. I don't have much enjoyment.
You do, don't you? You do.
Yeah, I really do. Would you like to round this up first, or would you like me to go first?
No, I'll go first this time because I'm pretty pissed off with this movie. So I'll.
Everybody shut up! I have an erection.
Yeah, Sharknado 5 for me was very, very underwhelming. You know me, I'm a big fanboy of this franchise. I champion it to the end of the earth. I think what they did with 2, 3, and 4 is just genius on a ridiculously idiotic level. But part 5 literally jumped the shark for me. I don't think they quite grasped what this franchise had become in terms of what was cemented before it with the previous movies. I didn't like Sharknado 1, by the way, but I liked 2, 3, and 4. I thought they were brilliant. Sharknado 4 was a pinnacle for me. What they did with that movie in terms of the constant changing of the Sharknado with the elements, picking up the rocks and then the fire and all that kind of stuff was really cool because it was a progression throughout. Everything kept elevating itself to different levels. Talking about this like it's fucking Shakespeare. It's a Sharknado.
Yeah, but like this one had Sharkzilla again. Something else we didn't cover. When they got to Tokyo, all the sharks got attacked with nuclear waste and become a giant Sharkzilla shark.
It was ridiculous. It looked shit. It was ridiculous, and it didn't have like that would have been cool if that was the concept. If there was like, oh yeah, it's a Sharkzilla because it's Japan, Tokyo, blah, blah, blah. And then they'd taken it somewhere else, and then it taken on a different form depending on the location. So we go to Egypt, and it was like a sandnado. They went to Sweden, and it was a snownado. You know, and we started incorporating the location elements to the Sharknado. That would have been enjoyable for me, and I would have got on board with the themes of the location. But they didn't do that. It was the same Sharknado, which had no character. I'm going to talk about it as if it's a person. It had no character depending on where it was going from. But whereas the previous ones did, it was evolving, it was growing. It was just the same basic Sharknado, but it just had blue lightning in the middle of it that had some weird time portal in it that made people move from location to location, which was ridiculous. I didn't enjoy the whole mythical element introduced to it, which sounds such a ludicrous thing to say because it's a fucking Sharknado. Do you know what I mean?
Honestly, it's arguably the most ridiculous thing you've ever said on the show.
It is, and I'm hearing myself out loud saying it. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? It's a Sharknado movie, but it just didn't work for me. I didn't like that side of it. I didn't like the incorporation of the mythical element. It's not a grounded franchise by any means, but at least I could digest the plausibility of something so ridiculous up until this point. To me, it just felt so far away from anything that I would consider normality. And I know Sharknadoes in general are not normality, but what they've done here is just taken it to a point of such stupidity that I didn't enjoy it. I couldn't get on board with it. I felt like all the characters had become so self-absorbed within the personalities that they'd set up in previous movies that they weren't even trying. They were just tropes of themselves, and it was annoying to watch, especially Finn. Like, I love Finn. I love Finn as a character throughout this movie. He's always been great. But in the previous movies, it always seems like he's tried. He's always tried to, like, he knows where he is. He knows what movie he's in. He knows what he's doing. But at least he gives the effort as if to say, look, if I get the casting call, at least I can showcase a little bit of what I'm about. So they know that if I do get the chance to step away from something so stupid, I can probably break that mold if I need to. Here he's just fully swallows it. He just swallows it and he chews the fat throughout, and it's annoying. The kills in this are pathetic. There is nothing that stands out where you're like, oh, that kill was cool. Or, oh, yeah, did you see the way that ridiculously overplayed cameo that we just seen went out? Yet no, we don't get any of that. Like, even when you're annoyed by cameos in previous movies, the result of their death usually makes you be like, that was stupid, but did you see her get her head bit off? That was cool.
Yeah.
Here it's just constant CGI shark just bumping into people, and that's it. And then just like a blood splatter. There's no actual execution via the sharks. Like, for example, the previous movies, Finn dives headfirst into a shark with a chainsaw, cuts himself free from it in all its bloody, gory practical effects levels. We don't get anything like that here. It's just ridiculous CGI heavy stuff all the way through. It was just disappointing, man. It was disappointing. It was underwhelming. And I know these movies can be better because I've seen it. And by the fifth one, you would think that they would be projecting to a more elevated level and being like, yeah, right, okay, we've done it. They didn't. They went backwards for me. They just went.
You can't say that. Look at that Halloween franchise. What happens when you get to 4 and 5? Fucking massive downturn.
That's not fair. I'm going to briefly move on from your comments. I don't know. I was just so hyped by this movie going in that when it actually came to fruition, I was just so disappointed. The trailer for it showcases the overall arc of the movie in a much better light than what it plays out on screen. I'm excited for the final movie because of what the setup was at the end. And I feel like they can retcon all of this bullshit that they tried to set up in this first movie, which would entertain me a great deal more. But as a whole, this for me is the worst one. I think I would prefer to watch the first Sharknado over this one. I do. I genuinely think I would rather watch Sharknado 1 than Sharknado 5. This is the worst one by far for me, and it's breaking my heart, man. It's breaking my heart genuinely to have to say this, but it is bad, and I don't like it, and I wouldn't recommend anybody watched it. And you know me, I champion these movies. I'm like, yes, Sharknado is the best thing since sliced bread, but it's not. This is bad. It's really, really, really bad. And I haven't been able to sleep since watching it. It's ruining my life.
What score do you give this?
This is a 1 out of 5. Pure dog shit. Don't watch it.
Wow. Okay. This movie slaps. It's dumb in its most primal form. I'm pleased they toned up everything. So I'm pleased. I liked the fact that all of these characters have almost become caricatures of themselves. I love the fact that they've lent into all of the tropes. Like, that's the bit I really enjoyed. I love the fact that Nova is just a badass bitch, and she's now got a team of badass bitches. That is her entire character now. Finn is just a hero. He is just a hero. He's nothing more now. He's not a dad. He's not a husband. He's just a hero. And I kind of bought into that. The cameos in this are atrocious to the point that I needed to go and Google. I was sat watching it with my phone and I'm going, who played this character in Sharknado 5?
I did the
to
same
work
thing.
out.
Who played the Queen in Sharknado 4? You would think that was a prime example for him to do something cool. Who played the Queen? Nobody. Some woman from Spain who had shitload of plastic surgery and looked like the most ridiculous character I've ever seen on screen.
Yeah, see, I done a lot of that. The acting, especially from the cameos, is arguably the worst in the entire franchise. But again, I found myself enjoying it because I was laughing at it. So, like Sharknado 3, I enjoyed because I was kind of laughing with it. They fully captured what they were doing, and I was along for the ride. Sharknado 4, I wasn't as on board on. This one, I was on board, but for a completely different reason because it is fucking dreadful. And because it's so bad, for me, it hit that transition where it's so bad. It hasn't become good, but it's become something that I can sit and poke fun at, like Tony Hawk skating down the Sydney Opera House. Like,
Yeah.
why? Why? At what point did they go? We need to get the hawk on it, and that translates as Tony Hawk getting his skateboard out, jumping out of the top of the Sydney Opera House and skating down. Like all of that. Like, there is no plot. There's no storyline to this. I hated the actual Sharknadoes themselves. They felt like a bit character in this as opposed to the focus of the movie.
Yeah.
I know that this is going into time travel. I wasn't overly keen on the setup. I think I'd rather it had done like an Evil Dead 2 moment. I'd rather that they'd all been sucked into a Sharknado and spat out in prehistoric time or spat out in medieval England. I think that's how I would liked it to end. I don't like the fact they destroyed the whole world, like everything dead. I enjoyed it. It's crap, and I don't recommend anyone goes and sits and watches this because I don't think you'll get the same level of enjoyment out of it that I did. But for me, this is a 3.5 out of 5. It sits the third favorite Sharknado for me. So it's Sharknado 3, Sharknado 4, this, Sharknado 2, Sharknado 1.
Oh, that's worrying, man. Let's do mine. Mine is 4, 3, 2, 1, 5.
Yeah, so 5's higher up for me. Hey, well, we can all like different things. Like I say, I like it. Like I'm not by any way saying this is a good movie, and I'm not saying I like it for the quality of the movie. I like this because I haven't laughed this much for a long time. I literally sat on my sofa, and there was moments where I had to pause it because I was laughing, one at the movie, and two at Lisa, who was sat on the sofa next to me, eye rolling and repeating the phrase, "What the fuck is this?"
I think that's maybe what I should have done. I should have maybe made my wife watch this with me, so I could have had that whole justification angle with her and be like, no, it's good because of this. No,
Yeah.
honestly, you're missing the point of this because of this. And it's like that maybe would have warranted my stay with the movie. But yeah, it's just, do you know what pissed me off the most? Is I saved this movie. Obviously, we're now Monday after Halloween. I knew we had this coming up, and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to save that. I'm going to make that my Halloween movie night. So the trick or treaters are all gone. The kids are in bed. We sit down on the sofa. I'm going to eat all my daughter's trick or treating candy, and I'm just going to live my best life and watch Sharknado 5. This is going to be the best Halloween ever. Fucking wasn't, man. Fucking wasn't. I could have picked any other movie to enjoy Halloween with, and I didn't. I watched Sharknado 5, and it was the biggest regret of my life. I should have watched this on Monday or Tuesday in the week.
See, I didn't watch this on Halloween, but I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. I think the crowning bit that I laughed the most at was something that happened at home, not actually in the movie. So Lisa got up and went and got like a drink and something to eat. And when she came back, she went, "What did I miss?" I went, "I thought you didn't like it." She went, "I don't. It's terrible, but I have to know what's going on now because I'm so confused."
Again, that's all I was all the way through this movie, was just confused and dumbfounded by it.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what it is. Like you go into Sharknado 5 global swarming, you don't expect to get Silence of the Lambs quality storytelling. It kind of is what it is. That's it for another week. Make sure you like us. Make sure you comment on Spotify to enter our draw. Make sure you share our show. Make sure you do all the wonderful things that helps us, because we give you a free show every single week. If you want to spend a bit of cash, head over to our shop. Go and buy a Marc t-shirt, oozing daddy vibes, or a Colonel Cockring t-shirt that Marc will see landing on his doorstep very, very soon.
I don't believe you. You've been saying that to me for 6 months now. You're full of shit.
I know. I've dragged it out long enough now. I am going to send you one. That's about it. Do you want to talk about next week? Because we know what we're doing.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? I'm excited. I haven't seen either of the movies we've got already polled for Bad November.
Yeah, so we've got all 3 polled now.
So we know what the final one is.
Yeah, the final one is a short person in a place that he shouldn't be.
Okay. Yeah, I have been following the polls. I just didn't know the final result. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. But next week we're going to be talking about Frankenhooker.
Yes. Now,
First
I've never
watch
seen
for
this
you?
movie. Yes, first watch for me. First watch for me. And I'm excited. I'm very, very excited for this movie. I know it's well loved. I see like cosplay of this all the time. And I've seen a lot of them like for Love of Horror and stuff coming as Frankenhooker and stuff. So I'm excited for it. I feel like this is going to be more my wheelhouse in terms of the comedic sort of tone.
I hope so, because you've been a real downer this week.
I didn't want to be. I wanted to be the guy, as I have been in all the other Sharknado run-throughs. I'm like, Scott, come on, man, this was awesome. You know, it feels strange for me to be sat on the other side.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and we will catch you all next week. See you all later.
Cheers, guys. See you next week.
You want to die tonight?
Late at night, I tune into your show, where you talk horror with a unique flow. Your voice is like sirens, draws me in, as you pick apart movies for murder and sin. The dad jokes you tell sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Marc's overblown roundups. You run podcasts for a movie review, unveiling facts.